Good afternoon all. I just wanted to put together a very short video on CEM exams and what a possible construction of the exam format will be like. This is very much based upon recent mock exams that students have sat, discussions with other tutors. But please bear in mind very important caveat that CEM as a body will not give away too much. They have their own free rein to write and format the exams as they wish, so all of this could be subject to change on the big day. So nothing is in gospel and nothing is in writing. It's just purely based upon recent mock exams, just to give you an idea as to how they're formatted. So let me just kick off and move over to page 1. So what I've summarised here are the kind of high levels, which is to say that the exams are split into two different papers. Paper 1, which is based upon a recent mock exam centre, is largely close and comprehension. Paper 2, based upon the same mock exam centre, is largely vocab, NVR and odd one out. Both papers have numeracy, with paper 2 numeracy being more word-based questions, so that's the paper 2 one. And both papers, as you can see, have tight time constraints. So paper 1 has 42 minutes and 74 questions. Paper 2 has 47 minutes and 109 questions. Just take it for a rough guide that each paper will be about 50 to 60 minutes. And do expect these types of tight time constraints. So dumbing it down, it's between half a minute and 45 seconds per question, taken on an average basis. The recommended centre that I've actually put forward is the one that I've discussed with many of you, and that's the Susan Daughtry Education Centre. I prefer them for mock exams just because I think that they are very good at what they do, and the papers feel like the right format, the right mixture of how the final papers will land. But as I say, everything is subject to change, and they probably know as much as I do as far as how the final exam will look like. But there you can see the content. So paper 1, close, comprehension 1, comprehension 2, scrambled section and numeracy 1. Paper 2, vocab 1 and 2, numeracy 2, non-verbal reasoning and odd one out. So if I just talk about paper 1 initially, because not everybody knows what each of these entails. So let me just go through those. So you've got closed type of questions where you've got to pick the most appropriate word that will complete a sentence and series of sentences. You've got paper 1 of comprehension, which is looking at a larger comprehension exercise and picking the most appropriate option from A to D based upon that large text. So maybe it's an A4 and a half level of text. So a fair amount of text to go through. Comprehension 2 is more about looking at specific words and understanding what those words mean. You've got scrambled sentences, and you've got to pick the letter that is not applicable and doesn't fit into the sentence. And you've got a numeracy exam, numeracy questions, which are relatively short numeracy questions like this one. So going back to the top, you have in paper 2 vocab 1, vocab 2, numeracy 2, non-verbal reasoning and odd one out. So let me just quickly go through those. Just make my way through. Vocab 1 is very much synonym based. Vocab 2, antonym based. Numeracy, as I was saying before, numeracy 2 represent more wordy type of questions. Non-verbal reasoning, you've seen these types of questions before, and odd one out examples. So those are effectively the types of questions that are most likely to come up. But as I say, and as I have stressed a few times, anything can happen on the day, and CEM will reveal pretty much nothing. But the key lessons for me are that are the importance of vocab. It impacts on close, it impacts on comprehension 1 and 2, it impacts on scrambled sections, it impacts on paper 2, apart from the numeracy and non-verbal reasoning section. So it's important to keep going through the vocab, and as many of you started to do, using a notepad, writing down the words that you come across in everyday experiences, whether it's through the fiction and non-fiction books you read, writing down the explanation, doing the same from any comprehension exercises we do, and doing the same from any exercises that we do on synonyms and antonyms, close questions, odd one out questions. Just keep growing your vocab because it will apply. And of course the final point to note is that the exams are extremely time constrained, and hence I've been putting a lot of pressure on time recently. This has to continue, and we just have to get into the process of ensuring that time constraints are strict, they're monitored and adhered to, and students are aware of this as they're working through various papers and also practicing when they're doing papers on their own. So I hope that helps. Take care. Bye.